What is the supremacy of EU law? How does it impact domestic legal systems? This video explores the enforcement of European Union laws and their implications. The doctrine of supremacy ensures EU law takes precedence over national laws. This principle was established by the Court of Justice of the European Union. It means EU law prevails in cases of conflict with domestic laws. The case of Costa v. Enel highlighted this supremacy. EU law must be applied even if it conflicts with national legislation. The UK faces challenges with EU law supremacy due to its parliamentary sovereignty. The UK uses a dualist approach, requiring domestic acts for EU law effect. The European Communities Act 1972 was crucial. The Factortame case showed EU law's supremacy over UK law. UK courts must disapply conflicting domestic legislation. Germany initially resisted EU law supremacy over its constitutional law. In Solange I, German constitutional law was preferred. Solange II softened this stance, allowing EU law primacy under certain conditions. The German courts assess EU law compatibility with their constitution. Germany defers to EU law when rights protections are adequate. Treaties, regulations, and directives are key EU legal instruments. Regulations have binding force across all member states. Directives allow national discretion in implementation. Decisions bind specific entities or individuals. Each instrument serves distinct purposes within the EU legal framework. EU actions are based on treaties, called primary law. Secondary law derives from treaty principles and objectives. This includes regulations, directives, and decisions. Primary law sets the foundation for EU governance. Secondary law operationalizes EU objectives within member states. EU legislative acts follow specific procedures outlined in treaties. Non-legislative acts do not follow these procedures. Legislative acts require member state authorization. Non-legislative acts can be adopted by EU institutions. Both play roles in EU lawmaking processes. EU treaties outline objectives and decision-making processes. They are binding agreements ratified by all member states. Regulations apply automatically and uniformly across the EU. Directives require national implementation measures. Decisions, recommendations, and opinions complete the legal framework. Direct effect allows individuals to enforce EU law in national courts. It requires clear, precise, and unconditional provisions. Direct effect can be vertical or horizontal. Directives generally have vertical direct effect. Indirect effect requires national laws to align with EU provisions. Infringement proceedings ensure member state compliance with EU law. The European Commission identifies possible violations. It sends formal notices and reasoned opinions to non-compliant countries. Cases may be referred to the Court of Justice. Most disputes are resolved before court referral. Non-compliance with court decisions leads to further action. The Commission may refer the country back to court. Financial penalties can be imposed, including lump sums or daily payments. Penalties consider rule importance, infringement impact, and country capacity. The court can adjust proposed fines. The Commission monitors EU law application across member states. It publishes annual reports on infringement cases. Reports review key aspects of EU law application. Information is available online by country or policy area. The Commission's role is crucial for law enforcement. Subsidiarity ensures decisions are made at the most effective level. It limits EU intervention to necessary areas. Political and judicial safeguards protect subsidiarity. The principle balances EU and national competencies. It is vital for efficient governance within the EU. The EU has general and specific competencies. Harmonization competence facilitates market integration. Residual competence addresses unforeseen issues. Exclusive, shared, and coordinating competencies define EU authority. Complementary competencies support national actions within the EU. EU fundamental rights development is crucial for integration. The Fundamental Charter outlines rights and freedoms. The EU aims to join the European Convention on Human Rights. The draft EU ECHR agreement is under discussion. Fundamental rights ensure human rights protection within the EU. General principles include human rights, transparency, and equality. Subsidiarity and administrative justice are also key. The European Court of Justice identifies these principles. They guide EU law interpretation and application. These principles ensure fairness and justice within the EU. Infringement proceedings are initiated by the Commission. Member states can also take action against each other. The European Court of Justice decides on these cases. It ensures conformity with founding treaties. The court's role is similar to the U.S. Supreme Court. The Van Genden-Loos case was pivotal for EU law. It established the European Community as a new legal order. Member states and nationals are bound by EU laws. The case reinforced the supremacy of EU law. It set a precedent for future legal interpretations. Costa v. ENEL confirmed the transfer of sovereign rights. Union law cannot be overridden by domestic law. The case highlighted EU law's supremacy. It is a cornerstone of EU legal framework. Costa Venel remains influential in legal discussions. Annual reports monitor EU law application. They present infringement cases by policy area. Reports are accessible online for public reference. They provide transparency in EU law enforcement. The Commission's role is pivotal in compiling these reports. In conclusion, understanding how European Union laws are enforced is essential for recognizing the effectiveness and authority of the EU legal system. Enforcement mechanisms such as the role of the Court of Justice of the European Union, CJEU, infringement proceedings, and direct effect ensure that EU law is applied consistently and respected by all member states. These processes maintain legal uniformity, protect individual rights, and uphold the principles of the EU. By examining how enforcement works in practice, learners gain valuable insight into the strength, reliability, and impact of the EU legal framework. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email or WhatsApp at 074-8436-1688.